Breaking news. Welcome to Africa Concept TV. Soyinka criticizes Tinubu's address for ignoring state's brutal crackdown on end bad governance protesters. Soyinka criticizes Tinubu's address for ignoring state's brutal crackdown on end bad governance protesters. To my dear listeners, before I go into details, please ensure you like, subscribe and share. Now the details. Soyinka made the observation in a statement on Sunday following Tinubu's address to the nation. A Nobel laureate, Prof. Wole Soyinka has said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's nationwide address on Sunday failed to address the attacks on end bad governance protesters by security agencies. Soyinka made the observation in a statement on Sunday following Tinubu's address to the nation. The end bad governance protest continued on Sunday, marking their fourth day, as demonstrators voiced their frustrations over the country's deepening economic hardship, escalating poverty, and ineffective governance. Soyinka said, "I set my alarm clock for this morning to ensure that I did not miss President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's impatiently awaited address to the nation on the current unrest across the nation. His outline of government remedial action since inception, aimed at warding off just such an outbreak, will undoubtedly receive expert and sustained attention, both for effectiveness and in content analysis. My primary concern, quite predictably, is the continuing deterioration of the state's seizure of protest management, an area in which the presidential address fell conspicuously short. Such short-changing of civic deserving, regrettably, goes to arm the security offices in the exercise of impunity and condemns the nation to a seemingly unbreakable circle of resentment and reprisals. Live bullet, a state response to civic protest, that becomes the core issue. Even tear gas remains questionable in most circumstances. Certainly an abuse in situations of clearly peaceful protest. Hunger marches constitute a universal SOS, not peculiar to the Nigerian nation. They belong indeed in a class of their own. Never mind the collateral claims emblazoned on posters. They serve as summons to governance that a breaking point has been reached, and thus a testing ground for governance awareness of public desperation. The tragic response to the ongoing hunger marches in parts of the nation, and for which notice was served, constitute a retrogression that takes the nation even further back than the deadly culmination of the watershed and SARS protest. It evokes pre-independent, that is colonial act of disdain, a passage that induced the late-stage pioneer Hubert Ogunde's folk opera Bread and Bullet, earning that nationalist serial persecution and proscription by the colonial government. Soyinka noted that the nation's security agencies cannot pretend unawareness of alternative models for emulation, civilized advances in security intervention. He said, "Need we recall the nationwide 2022-2023 editions of what is generally known as the Yellow Vest movement in France. Perhaps it is time to make such scenarios compulsory viewing in policing curriculum. In all of the coverage that I watched, I did not catch one single instance of a gun leveled at protesters, much less fired at them, even during direct physical confrontations. The serving of bullets was bred is pleaded is ominous retrogression, and we know what that eventually proves: a prelude to far more desperate upheavals, not excluding revolutions. The time is long overdue. Surely to abandon permanently the anachronistic resort to lethal means by the security agencies of governance. No nation is so underdeveloped, materially impoverished, or simply internally insecure as to lack the will to set an example. All it takes is to recall its own history, then exercise the will to commence a lasting transformation, inserting a break in the chain of later responses against civic society. Today's marchers may wish to consider adopting the key songs of Hubert Ogunde's Bread and Bullet, if only to inculcate a sense of shame in the continuing failure to transcend the lure of colonial inheritance, where we all were at the receiving end. One way or the other, this vicious circle must be broken. Nobel laureate Prof. Wale Soyinka has said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's nationwide address on Sunday failed to address the attacks on end-bad governance protesters by security agencies. Soyinka made the observation in a statement on Sunday following Tinubu's address to the nation. The end-bad governance protest continued on Sunday, marking their fourth day, as demonstrators voiced their frustrations over the country's deepening economic hardship, escalating poverty, and ineffective governance. Soyinka said, "I set my alarm clock for this morning to ensure that I did not miss President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's impatiently awaited address to the nation on the